Well, hello everyone. Hopefully you can see me and hear me okay. We're using the Google Hangouts today, and really just to kind of uh, invite you in behind the scenes of just sort of a typical day for me. Um, Nothing, not that really I have too many typical days, but anyways, we're going to do some experimenting today, some creative exploration. And what I want to do is create some assets for myself. I've been using Google Drawings. If you've been following my YouTube channel or a lot of my posts, just as a creative exploration and possible solution for anybody out there. You don't have to have Photoshop to create professional looking great designs, whether it's for your business or for clients or for yourself or your church, your organization, whatever. I've been wanting to use some more organic assets in some of my designs, and I've been doing a lot of just sketching with ink and a brush. And I keep a journal with me, and I'll just show you what we're going to use today. This is just some really loose brush strokes, and I want to grab some of these nice brush strokes with all that texture that's in there and create little vector shapes that are compatible with Google Drawings vector format, so that we can change it, we can edit them, change the color, etc., and get nice high quality resolution independent output. So how we're going to do this is I'm just going to take a photograph with my iPhone of that page. Okay, that's as good as I need it to be. I'm just going to send it to myself here. This is usually how I do it, so you get to see, like I said, this is a behind the scenes video. You get to see what I do. So I'm just going to email it to myself. This will take just a second. You can do this too. It doesn't have to be an iPhone, but anything that's got a nice camera. And on an iPhone, you have settings for file size and quality. And for these, I usually do large because it's just usually as big as I need it to be, but not bigger to just kind of upload and download time. So I've sent that to myself. I'm going to flip over now to the computer screen. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen now. Yep. So that's in my inbox. Okay, and there we have it. I can just preview it there. I'm going to go ahead and download it. And what we want to get is pretty much a solid black and white. It's a bit of a challenge, so I'm going to need to edit it just a little bit because my sketchbook is actually sort of a manila color paper. And so I'm going to open it up here in preview. I'm on a Mac, but there's similar applications. You could use an online photo editor to do most of this kind of stuff. And first thing I'm going to do is just kind of crop out some of this unwanted stuff. Okay, I don't want that black edge over there on the side. I'm going to go ahead and keep in all these little smudges and things because I can use those. So I'm going to hit Command K to crop. Then I'm going to open up my image and color settings here. First thing I'm going to do is take out all the saturation. That's going to give us a black and white image. And then I'm going to use the level adjustments. I want more blacks and I want more whites. We might play with some contrast here too. Might have a issue over here with some of the shadow, but we'll try to deal with that. Okay, that's pretty good. So I'm going to save that. I think it could be just a tad better, but I'm going to close it and reopen it so that those changes are applied. And I'm going to make some more changes. I'm thinking that I'm going to want more blacks in some of these. Okay, I think it's a little better. I'm going to save that. I can see how these are probably going to turn out pretty nice. I'm going to close that for now. We're going to use a online conversion tool. You could use Illustrator's Live Trace, or other programs have similar features. There's also different ones online that you can use, but I like this one, onlineconvert.com. What we want to get is, in the end, what we want to have is a WMF, which is a Windows metadata file. Even though I'm on a Mac, that's the file that I want, because that's the file type that Google Drawings recognizes as vector information. And so this doesn't do WMF, but it does do SVG. And SVG will work just great because we'll convert it with something else to get the WMF. So I'm just going to choose that file that I just edited right there. And I'm going to tell it that it's monochrome. And we're going to convert the file. It's going to automatically download it for us in a .svg. And in Google Chrome, you can drag this SVG into a new tab and preview it. So you can see here we lost some of the detail, but some of these other ones are pretty nice and pretty close to what I was hoping for. Pretty some, jagged sort of edges here. Got some of that smudging over here. Not too bad. So I can use a lot of this stuff here. So I'm just going to close that, and we're going to go to our other converter, which is, we went to SVG to WMF, and Cloud Convert is great for that. Okay, so convert SVG to WMF. We're on cloudconvert.com. I can just drag my SVG into here, make sure it's set to WMF, and start conversion. These are all free, by the way. So I hit download. I'm going to go to my drive, and I'm just in one of my drive folders here, and I'm just going to drag that WMF right into the window, and you see that it's automatically generated a Google drawing with all those little pieces in there. So if I double click that to open it, here we go. And this is all vector information, which is, these shapes like this are highlighted with a little blue outline. And I can ungroup this. Command Shift and G ungroups this. And so now I've got access to all my little pieces, but I don't want everything to be separated. So I'm going to kind of go through and regroup some of these. I think that's all one shape. That's good. Those are two different ones. So I'm going to group that. Just kind of go through and regroup some of these. I might even move them off just to show myself that those are finished pieces. And I can actually use just about everything in here for something. Even this little guy here, I might actually make this part of this one or another one. But you can see I can resize these, and I can also change the color of these. So this is all vector information now. See that? Great. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going through. Kind of keep all these little bits together here. You can zoom in here. And that's fine as one shape. And then I want these to be one shape. So I'm grouping them. That'll be group, group, group that. Okay, so I can move all these off now. And these little pieces here, I think I'll get rid of. But I like this one. I get rid of those as well. Actually, I kind of like those. That'd be nice to have some small pieces in there. I'm going to group that with the big one. Okay, there's two pieces there, so I'll group that. This will make it much, much easier for me to select and maneuver all these little pieces. Now the rest of this here, I'm just going to make sure some of these have little strands from the brush stroke here. So I'm going to group each of these kind of big strokes together if they need to be. Okay, that one does. Okay. There we go. And what I'm going to do is just reposition all of them now back onto the page in a little bit more logical layout. And what this has done now for me is created sort of a very quick library of vector assets that I can quickly see just kind of sitting on this page like this, and be able to I might get it right now. I'll keep it in there, and be able to use these things in designs. Got all these little pieces here. Okay. And I've just tried to lay them out in a way that shows me what's together and what's not. And move all this in. There we go. So I can just keep this. I'm going to rename this brush strokes. And so we've got all these little smudges, brush strokes, etc. The great thing is I can use this now just by copy and pasting the pieces that I want. And let's go ahead and create a new drawing. And I've been working on sort of Easter themed slides for churches. So we're going to go ahead and create one. So I'm just setting up the page right now. It's going to be 1920 by 1080. And I can make the background white for now. And so what I think I'm going to do is kind of create a Easter Sunday slide. So as you see here, I can just grab these pieces now and copy and paste them in. And with these brush strokes now, I can create some really interesting things. For example, a cross. And it has a very unique feel and look to it. And I can resize them again. I can change colors. I can do all sorts of things with them now. And I group that together. Get these great guidelines in Google Drawings for positioning things. And I might grab I've already got some more brushwork that I did earlier in this document, which this was all a finished slide as it was. So I did the same process just to achieve this script word here. I'm just going to paste that in. So again, this is just the same method that I used before. And this again is, if I ungroup it, I can have this piece. This is all one piece. So I can keep the underline, or I could get rid of it if I want. And what I'm going to try to do is, I can reposition this now. Kind of give myself a base for that cross to sit on. Should kind of look neat, I think. Okay. I'm going to recolor this, the word here. And maybe I'll give the underline the same color. It's kind of interesting. I can select all of it, just make sure it's in the center there. Maybe make it a bit smaller. Okay, so this is going to need some kind of background. I'm kind of trying to stick with sort of Easter colors. And I'm just kind of experimenting, playing around. Maybe what I'll do is actually create a little scene here. Okay, there's one cross. I could put 3 crosses on this brush stroke like it was a hill. Let's go grab our other strokes here. Just going to grab a few of them all at once, paste them in. Okay, there's maybe another cross. I'll make that one just slightly smaller. That's good. And we can make another cross out of this. what I really like about this is that none of these are just super perfect, and I really like that. It keeps kind of a handmade look, but you know we're just working on the computer now. Let me group that together. Okay, I use grouping a lot. What I might do here is just flip this horizontally. Yep, and I'm really liking this. All right, and group this whole thing together now. And that's the center. I'm going to bump it up just a little bit because too low. Okay, and now what I often do is I'll go to the insert menu, go to image, and I'll grab some stock or free picture to use in the background. And I like this one here. Let's see how it looks. I try never to use any imagery unless I've taken the picture myself just as it is. And I like that purple and gold together, but I also like the imagery here. So we can open our image options and just adjust the transparency of that image. And it's going to kind of give us a pretty neat look already. Kind of neat. Okay, we're getting more of that purple in. That's good. And I may just make this whole thing a bit brighter yellow. Yeah, I like that better. Maybe even this is bright. That's like really bold. Let's try some of these little smudges here. Grab like this one. Got to ungroup this now and make sure this is the same color. So we can kind of create our own little ink blobs or drips, but we've got full control over them. Yeah, see how sharp this is? Got all this detail in here. So just selecting all of this and making sure that's in the center. I'm going to group that and then group everything together. Yeah, let's just see how it looks in white. I think this image should be a little more subtle. Maybe give it a color cast, something like that. That's pretty cool. Yep, I like that. I don't like where the birds are positioned right here underneath this. So what I'm going to do is double click in here, which is activates the cropping, and I'm going to start expanding the image. Don't do this too much because you'll start to lose resolution and it'll get pixelated. Actually, what I might just try first is flipping it and see if that'll. Yep, that does it right there. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Okay. That was a little distracting having the bird right underneath that, so just wanted to get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to give this a name. Here. I think this is 03, 02. Which ones I've done, but I really like this style, this kind of look. You know, has a very loose, hand-drawn feel, but a professional cleanness somehow. So we can download this either as a PDF, and we'll get all that vector information and output. Obviously, the image won't be, but that will just be a JPEG image. SVG as well. We can reconvert it back to SVG, or as an image file like a PNG that we can use straight away. And we just put that right on our service slide or auditorium slide. And we can do further editing as well if we want. Okay, pretty great. Well, thanks for watching and kind of sticking with me through this just little creative exercise. Hopefully you got something out of it. And I'll see you guys later.